What up, guys? I just wanted to give a quick update. For my last video, I had mentioned that we were waiting on some form of like impulsive move, in which it actually happened right here. Right? So you can see here we have our lovely. I should do it like this. Hold on. Oop. We have our lovely resistance made there, right? And then we have our lovely support made there. And it finally broke out of that little wedge, descending wedge situation that we had going on. Right now, within this, right, of course, there were some opportunities. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to kind of zoom in and see what type of opportunities were available. But I am going to, what time is this? 2 a.m. Let's mark this off. I'm gonna mark that off. It's 2 a.m. So when we go down to lower time frames and we go fishing, we know what we're looking at. Let's do 15 minutes. All right, so we would obviously be looking for opportunities past the point of that line. So we got a little support here. Right, so with that, we got a break, then we got a pull back. Okay. We could, that double candle right there. I usually, for US 30, I'm usually going about 125 for risk, and then about 180 for TP. Whoop. So you could have gotten to that around 645, right, which is obviously pre-market, and rode the bearish momentum downward towards TP, which was at 115. Now, for me personally, that's a super long trade. I probably wouldn't want to be in that long, but would it be a trade that I potentially take? Yes, because it's right before the time where I like to be out of my trades. For me personally, I like to generally be out of my trades by like 2 o'clock. If I can get like a one and done by 12, it's a phenomenal day. And keep in mind, I'm not actively on the charts, so I take my trade and then I proceed with my day. I go to work and do other things, so I'm not like glued to my screen, which is not fun. But I basically take the trade, set it and forget it, have my TP set, have my stop loss set. And even with this, I mean, realistically, what it's showing, you could have had less risk on this, making it for a better RR. So that would have been a pretty solid trade. Keep in mind, it's approaching this 4 hour support zone, so you wouldn't want to continue just like trying to like fish for ooh, let's do this. I'm chirping out. You wouldn't want to just continually like fish for sells just for the fact that you know that it's approaching the zone. But maybe there have been one or two more decent quality opportunities in here, like that right there. right? As it starts to get into this zone, it's kind of like where it gets messy. So that one would have been a decent one, right? Swing high to swing low on the 5 or 15 minute. I apologize. The 15-minute time frame, and then you have one, two, three candles, right? So that bearish variation, based off of the 38.2, and enter there. And as you can see, it's kind of sloppy so far as price action goes, but it eventually gets there, um, and hits TP at the following morning. Yeah, yeah, the following morning at 9:45. Now, that's again a long trade. For me personally, I wouldn't be looking for trades going into that zone so close. I mean, you're talking, you're talking a couple from that first trade, 130 points within that zone. I wouldn't be looking to take that trade, especially this is where you have to be smart about your edge, and you have other things to consider, right? Because if you normally aim for, in my case, I aim for 180 points, right? If I'm aiming for 180 points, I already took a trade that got me the 180 points. My last trade ended, I'm within 130 points of my zone. I personally, that would be a reason for me not to look for another trade, just based off of that alone, because there's a good chance it may not go to the extent of the TP that I set. So I like to have room, like I like to see visual room between like where I'm looking and where my next level of support and resistance is. So for Leroy, that would be a reason not to get in. Not saying that there's not good opportunities, not saying that there's no opportunities. It's just for me personally, I wouldn't do that. Now, maybe if my parameters of my trade were different, like what I'm aiming for, what I'm risking, yes, possibly, but given how it is, I wouldn't do it. But you guys could see that this trade ends up hitting the next day for TP. Now, a very important thing that I will say to um, everybody watching this that trades prop firms, right? How you trade your prop firm and how you trade your personal capital is a slight variation, right? It's not exactly the same because people that trade prop firm knows, right? You get into this trade at 315, right? You're based off of the CME markets, right? They're gonna close, right? And the top step platform is gonna liquidate your position, whether you're in profit or not. So you can't hold the trade overnight. Now, if you're trading personal funds, right, and possibly another asset or instrument, right, then you can possibly hold overnight, depending on those things. But I wouldn't hold this trade anyway for where the day is. Like I said, I like to be out of my trades a little bit um, earlier in the afternoon. For that reason, usually momentum's not too solid. Um, Layered with it's close to a zone, I wouldn't really be feeling that. So I would say that those are probably like two opportunities that I want to show you guys on this joint right here. But as of right now, man, I'm kind of just scouting out. We're gonna clear those up. Ah, as of right now, I'm just scouting out to see what the market does within this area. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update from the video I made last about the market having that expansive move and giving you guys the opportunity to see like what I'm talking about. So That's about it. Until next time, peace.